This week, we're talking about Huawei's new OS, Ring is helping the police get their snitch on, and the Apple Card is officially out, and more, as we, together, as a people, check it out. Welcome back. It is another sophisticated Saturday here in the Mike Check It Out land. It's completely imaginary in my brain, in my imaginary mind, where I'm bringing you the tech news from this week. Well, mainly from last Sunday to Friday, because this comes out on Saturday every week. Tune in. In our first story, Ring, the company that makes the popular video doorbell, is working with police on how to get footage from people's doorbells so they can get their snitch on. Who's snitching? Who trying to be a neighborhood snitch? Apparently you are, if you have a Ring doorbell. Apparently I am. They're not telling the police how to get in a back doorway. They're more so teaching the police how to speak to people and ask them for the footage. So they're teaching them about how it works. So it's not like they're teaching them to go in there and steal the footage. It's just so police can effectively communicate with Ring owners and be like, hey, go to this part of your app, give me the damn footage. That's pretty much what it is. I think it's a smart idea, because if people have these doorbells and they can help people catch crimes, or they can help the police catch crimes, it's a win-win in my book. I mean, personally, as long as I ain't gotta go testify in court, I'm fine with giving up the footage. But if I gotta go testify, I ain't giving up nothing. I ain't got time for that. Gotta be at work. What do you think this is? In sadder, more solemn news, Google is shutting down its trips planning app, which I literally just heard about when I found out that it was shutting down. But apparently the functionality is already baked into Google Maps, and then they have some travel search thing. So I guess instead of just having it in one place, it's going to be in two different places. But honestly, no one's probably going to care. But it's always sad when something doesn't work out, like Google Plus or the travel app, or Google Glass version 1. But maybe like Google Glass, the Trips app will be back. We shall see. We shall see. It's not coming back. In our next story, it involves HTC, popular hardware maker of such things as the HTC Vive and the Vive Pro, and also they make smartphones. Except for right now, they can't sell them in the UK due to a copyright infringement case with company Ipcom, which I don't know who that is. But apparently it's over some kind of patent related to wireless car technology. So they're claiming the HTC infringed on their patent. HTC was supposed to put a workaround in for the phone to not use their technology, and they're claiming that Ipcom is claiming that HTC hasn't put that workaround in place. So basically, HTC is not going to sell their phones for right now in the UK. Now, that's kind of a big deal because, that's the United Kingdom. That's a lot of money that you're losing out on. So hopefully, HTC recovers, because they make good stuff. I like HTC stuff. But why they always got to be fighting, though? Why does everybody got to be fighting? Patent this, infringement that, wireless car technology this. Why can't we all just wirelessly share our ideas? Oh, it's because of money. Never mind. Ipcom, get your money. In our next story, the Apple Card is officially out in beta pretty much. It's out for select users to test, and it pretty much works the way that everybody expected from what the article that I read. So again, I'm not sure if I'm going to get one, but they are finally letting people experience the Apple-tastic Apple Card. So if you're interested, this could be a gateway to sign up and possibly get into that early access and do terrible things to your life by maxing out a credit card. Not that I've done these terrible things myself. Speaking of Apple, in our next story, let's talk about these unauthorized Apple battery replacements. So Apple is now placing a warning in iOS that detects if you have an unauthorized battery install, and it'll say hey, we can't detect this as an authentic battery, you might blow up. That's basically what it says. A lot of people are going to be mad about it because they feel like Apple's deterring people from replacing their own batteries, which they are. That's the whole thing. But again, that's going to be up to you. It's not like it's stopping you from replacing your battery. It's just a warning. Like if you go to the battery health app, it's built into settings. But if you go to battery health and settings, then it'll give you a warning that it's not detecting an authorized battery in the phone. So people that still want to do their own battery replacement, you can go ahead. You're just going to get an ugly message when you go to the battery link. But again, it's up to you. Fire at your own risk. Speaking of firing, in our final story, Huawei is firing up development, or continued development, on their new OS. They announced this week that Harmony OS is going to come out. It's going to be for mobile phones, it's going to be for TVs, and it's going to be a computer, or laptop or desktop computers. It's going to be for everything. And they're claiming that it's going to be faster than Android and more secure. They didn't give any details. They're still looking for development for it, so it's still in its early kind of stages, a little bit. So it's not ready for prime time. But they had claimed prior that they weren't working on an OS to replace Android. This was probably a month or so ago. And now they come out and say we are working on our own OS. So it's interesting. I feel like it's probably still going to be Android based, just open source. If they can get enough developers to hop on, I think that they could make a successful OS based on Android. That's what Amazon did. They have a lot of the apps that you'd want, like if you buy a Fire tablet or something like that. So Huawei could technically do the same thing. We'll see how it shakes out, but this could be the beginning. If Huawei can pull this off, what's to stop someone like Samsung from really saying away with Google and developing their own app store, aside from the money that it would take and the time to get developers on board. But it kind of does open the doors, Android's open source. Why can't so-and-so go and make their own version of Android and just not rely on the Google apps? They can. They just probably won't because it's expensive. But Huawei balling, make all that network equipment. We'll have to see how it turns out. And that's going to see us to the conclusion of this episode. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.